If you're a YouTuber, you're
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney, who is today uniquely Jewish, according to Dan. How you feel about that?
Oh, well. Shalom.
Shalom, my brother. So, we identified what may have been the problem with Ayrton's audio the whole time. And I want to give a shout out to Ethan Ralph at the Ralph Retort for bringing this back up, because I had done it years ago, but apparently in Discord there is a voice setting where it clips if you're not inputting at a high enough decibels quickly enough. Like their noise gate is like some weird fraction of a millisecond or some shit. So if you have any kind of just tick with your vocal pattern, or if you speak in any kind of pausing manner, not paused, but paused manner, it'll just start clipping you.
Well,
so hopefully this is fixed and he sounds okay. If he doesn't, I'll just kick him off the show. It'll be fine.
fair enough.
But we do have some things to talk about tonight. 2020 has been wild as fuck. Can I just say that? Like, we're 8 days in.
Fucking World War III.
World War III's popping off. Ricky Gervais is kicking ass and taking names. Dave Chappelle's making people feel shit again. I mean, for God's sake. Renfamous lives with raccoons. Did you know that? Did you know that?
Yeah, what the fuck is...
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, well.
No, I missed that one, apparently.
I don't know if we should start with that one. I think maybe we should hold off. We have a few topics that aren't on the marquee that I think we should get to as well. The first one I actually saw right before the show. So let's take a look at that one. Are you familiar with the idea that they're doing a Flash movie in 2020?
I kind of stopped paying attention to the DC movies.
That's fair. It's definitely 100%.
So, I had I knew that they were going to make a Flash movie, but I didn't realize it was supposed to be for 2020.
Oh, yeah, the Canadians are dying on Ukrainian planes. We forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Saw that one.
For Coach Red Pill and 70-something Canadians. But, anyway.
Do you think they were singing Deo the whole way down?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They couldn't wait to get back to their prime minister so that they could all have like a blackface party. It's fantastic. But anyway, Flash movie.
Yeah.
It came out that it's going to be a Flashpoint movie. Have you got the link? I put it in the show suggestions at the very bottom link.
Yeah, it's being a pain in the ass.
Oh,
it's
good.
Loading now.
Good, but this comes from
All
that hashtag show, which I'm not familiar with, but I intend to pay a little closer attention to. But do you know what Flashpoint is?
Yeah.
Okay, where
it's
Thomas
like
Wayne
the most
is
famous Flash storyline.
Right. So
yeah,
you've got Thomas Wayne as Batman. You've got Martha Wayne as the Joker. And spoiler alert, obviously, that's all this fucking show is. But you've got all these characters, and they're all flip-flopped because Barry Allen went back in time to save his mother. They did an interesting take of it on the CW show. It wasn't completely faithful, but it was there in spirit, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna do
And there
Flashpoint,
was the cartoon movie too,
which was
right?
pretty good. Yeah, which was damn good.
Yeah.
But they're gonna make a live action version of Flashpoint, but they're not gonna do Flashpoint exactly.
So they're just gonna have him time travel and fuck around with some shit and with no
Well,
consequences.
well, we've got an article here. I'm looking for a tidbit. It's not a very long article, but let's see here. Okay, yeah, it's right in the beginning here. DC's upcoming film, The Flash, has certainly had a tumultuous history. Recently, Warner Brothers announced that the film would finally hit theaters in July 1st, 2020, and that Ezra Miller would indeed reprise his role as the title character. First off, Grant Gustin, whatever the fuck his name is from the CW show, is a much better Flash,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Oh, Ezra Miller was terrible.
Yeah. So
Like he tried to play it like
cool.
more he tried to play like that geek chic quirky sort of thing, like
Yeah.
that hipster geek
Yeah.
sort of thing. And Grant Gustin has a more genuine he plays like his brain going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And just being distracted and also kind of sarcastic. Way better.
It's been wildly anticipated that the film will follow the Flashpoint storyline from the comics. In an exclusive discussion with that hashtag show, director Andres Muschietti, God, I hate fucking up people's names, but that's my life, tells us the film will feature Flashpoint elements, but perhaps not in a way we think. So,
are they saying they're going to subvert our expectations?
I think they're just going to disappoint us, is what they're saying. We're going to get you all in here with the movie you want to see.
6 of one, half dozen of the other, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to get you in here with the movie you all want to see. And then once your ass is in the seat and you've bought the ticket, you can fuck right off because we're going to put the movie we want to put on. He spoke with us after moderating a cast panel for the upcoming horror thriller film Underwater. He also confirmed in a conversation that he is indeed helming a new adaptation, The Howling, for Netflix. Nice plug there for a second article that I'm definitely not going to click on. But
yeah,
all in all, it's just like if you're going to adapt a storyline, maybe just adapt the fucking storyline.
Right. I mean, it's a perfect way to kind of explain why Ben Affleck isn't Batman anymore. Right? He fucked with the timeline.
Well, yeah, but are you gonna try and tell me that what's his name?
Gay sparkly vampire.
Gay sparkly vampire is Ben Affleck's dad?
Exactly.
Don't say that, Chad. It can't be worse than the Birds of Prey movie, he says. Don't say that. They will fuck you all up. You will end up with Batman and the Flash beating the shit out of each other, screaming Martha back and forth.
Just instead of like the bang pow kablamo in the old Batman show, it'll just say Martha.
Yeah, every time he hits somebody.
Every time they punch each other.
Right, yeah. In fact,
I'm surprised nobody's done that as a parody thing yet.
Yeah, maybe a meme lord that watches the show will grace us with that, or hell, I might do it tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. I saw that and it made me feel a certain kind of way because here's the eternal conundrum with these superhero movies, right? I mean, we've had a good 2 decades of superhero film. Maybe even 3 if you go all the way back to the 90s with like Blade and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can go back to the 70s with Batman and shit like and whatnot, but there's so much superhero in mass media now that it's a far cry from what it used to be, where you had like one or two television shows that were targeted toward niche audiences for after school, whereas now it's mainstream. It's the new like the new hotness. And
Yeah.
the biggest conundrum that I have is that there are so many rich and unique stories that could be told. Like, why haven't they tried to tell the story of Kingdom Come yet? Uh, I, I mean, it's an easy one to tell because it's a lot of political intrigue. It's a lot of, self reflection in a movie. There's a lot of room for character development. You're working with characters that are already so established because of the recent uprising that it it just makes good sense to have an old Superman, an old Batman, all of these characters just acting in a way that you're not used to seeing them, but is completely and utterly, I don't know, true to the comic book story. Um,
Well, you're giving Hollywood too much credit for being smart.
well, I'm giving fucking Warner Studios,
Oh, that too.
but you don't have any kind of true continuity in between the actual story and the actual movie. And I understand that the movies are pretty much made for people that have never read a comic book to enjoy.
Yeah.
Then why does it have to be a fucking Batman movie? You know?
Be, because Batman.
Well, that's the thing. But anyway, I've always been a big proponent of the idea of saying, well, they should be more faithful to their comic book storyline. And everybody says, oh no, Church, you're wrong. You don't understand. People call me Church in real life. You don't understand. People don't know 80 years of comic continuity like you do. They don't understand it. Okay? So when I pick up a comic book and read it for the first time, and I've never read this character before in my life, I immediately understand 80 years worth of their backstory.
Well, yeah, because you're a building.
Right.
You
Right.
have an unfair advantage.
This is true. Um, but I don't know. It seems like a weak argument, and I understand that there is a certain expectation for these to just be great popcorn flicks, right?
Right.
But that's
I
not what
mean,
we get. I mean, we get great popcorn flicks that slowly but surely tear away at the medium that has become superheroes. And there are some exceptions. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy with Christian Bale, none of it was faithful to the comic books. However, the person that wrote that movie had an understanding of the storylines that he borrowed from and did them well. Tim Burton's
yeah,
Batman
and I
movies.
still,
Go ahead.
yeah, to this day, I still think The Winter Soldier is probably one of the best MCU movies.
Well, my unpopular opinion is that the best superhero movie of all time, well, at least of modern times, is Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and Alfred Molina. The Doctor Octopus movie.
Yeah.
That,
I don't know if I would say it's the best. It's definitely my favorite of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
it just when it comes to telling a comic book movie, like a comic book story in a movie, I think it hits all the points. Like I think it was filmed in a very comic way. I think the scene transitions. I think the character development and all of that was just spot on. Now, what they did
Yeah.
in turning him emo in the third movie,
I
I
don't
don't know.
remember when I saw that in theaters.
Oh yeah,
Like
it made me sick to my
before the
stomach.
word cringe. Yeah, before the word cringe was a thing. Like I
Yeah,
was like, I'm uncomfortable. Make
yeah,
it stop.
yeah. Basically, why
Make it
why
go away.
why is Spider-Man pelvic thrusting? Like I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing his hair like an emo? That didn't happen in the comic. What are you doing? So
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on
I'm having
Flashpoint? Are you
flashbacks.
interested in seeing it?
No, not even a little bit. I might watch it out of morbid curiosity when it becomes available on streaming, but that's probably as far as I'd go with it. I'm not going to give those assholes my money.
We all want the Batman Beyond movie. Chad Middleton, Novel Bro, Matt Christie, how's it going, guys?
I would agree with that.
I wouldn't
I
mind
would
watching
love a Batman Beyond movie.
it. Now, someone Novel Bro says we've already got a dislike, and that brings me to my next topic.
What a segue.
Yeah, that brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys. I have an inside guy on Twitter now who anytime someone blocks me, he'll follow them for me and report back to me on what they're saying. I definitely
so
do
we can get all
not.
the dirt on Matt because we're both blocked by him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I'm not going to dox my good friend on Twitter, but you know he's out there and he's watching you people, so you better be careful. But the first thing he alerted me to, because I've been talking to this guy for a little while, and he knew that I was blocked by Rob Liefeld. And he said, "Well, I'll follow Rob. I'll let you know if anything interesting happens." Well, apparently, yesterday, Rob Liefeld and ComicBookHut got into it. And I said, no, that didn't happen. It's not my birthday. It isn't my birthday. You gotta be shitting me. You didn't have to give me a present this early in the year. Come on.
It's like the Joker and Lex Luthor fighting.
Basically, right? But
this is fantastic. So are we starting on these links?
well, he's got a couple of screenshots, and that's what I want to pull attention to. Comic Book Hut apparently quote tweets, or not quote tweets, but responds to a Liefeld thread. And it says, "Can you explain how your ridiculously late crowdfunder wound up at NYCC, but not in the hands of its backers? And now it's on eBay." The motherfucker even talks like a goddamn comic book villain, right?
Did he capitalize?
Oh God, I wish
he
he
should
had.
capitalize like all of eBay.
Yeah.
That is great.
So Rob Liefeld just is like, backers continue to receive their shipments every day. Thanks. THX. And he just, like, I imagine that he wears the face in his profile picture all the time.
Oh, probably.
Like, I imagine he just, he wakes up in the morning and he's got this big shit-eating grin. I'm Rob Liefeld. I can't draw feet. This is great.
Well, when you were a kid and you were making a stupid face and your parents are like, if you keep that up, it'll get stuck.
That's what happened to Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
So, you get some people, you get some differing opinions, and how you fraud backers on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. You're a con man. Rob, ignore these idiots. You're a legend. You're a legend, Rob. And then he's like subtweets. Like, he doesn't quote tweet.
He's a legend at frauding people.
Well, he doesn't like quote tweet it. He doesn't even tag Comic Book Hut. But he goes on and he subtweets, "Hey dude, yelling at me on Twitter. Seriously, go play with your kids. Your dog. Eat a burger. Be happy. Like, that's a very specific set of things to do, Rob. Like, what if he's a vegan? What if he's a vegan, Rob?
Exactly.
You're harassing this poor boy. He hasn't had
What
any
if he's
children.
vegan and allergic to dogs?
What if he's a vegan, allergic to dog, and still lives with his mother?
Yeah. What if? We're not saying that he is. We're just a little thought experiment.
So,
You bigot.
yeah. And then Comic Book Hut comes back and says, Rob Liefeld, the luckiest man in comic books, blocked the People's Champion. Comic Book Hut calls himself the People's Champion.
And Chad Middleton said Comic Book Hut is like the J. Jonah Jameson of Comicscape.
That's, oh God. Oh God. Novel Bro, no. Novel Bro, no! Wait a minute! And also, you can't insult J. Jonah Jameson like that. I mean, he was an asshole. But at least he felt bad because he was harassing Spider-Man all this time and he was black.
True.
I was speaking up for his backers and he does that. His luck has run out. That's for sure. Oh God!
This is just.
It's just
what universe are we in?
the best one. The one where the two people that don't like me don't like each other too. Maybe
so really they should, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so they should unblock you.
One of them at least, right?
Yeah.
Like, one of them at least should unblock me. Maybe both. Maybe I can play them both against one another. Maybe I can just get,
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm throwing this out here. Rob, Hut, we will send you a link. You can come on and you guys can duke it out here on the show. This is a safe space. We won't talk about feet. We won't talk about black bulls. We'll be professional, and you guys can just duke it out. It'll be great.
One of the best replies on this thread, by the way, is from colorist for Xenotype. I think his name is Scotsman, but it's at Spartan something. But dude, I love the last one where he says he blocked me. His luck has run out. Oh, I totally agree. With the confirmed Deadpool Wolverine movie on the way, I'm sure it will barely make $1 billion. What a scrub. Oh, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, is it Christmas? Oh,
That's like fucking Hanukkah.
right. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm Jewish now in this universe. Who knows? I think Novel Bro just disavowed me.
Check your foreskin.
I felt a gust of wind of someone leaving the Discord with expediency. Oh, I hear Oy vey in the background somewhere. I don't know. But that's not all. That's not all of the Rob Liefeld that we've got for tonight, folks. That's just the beginning.
We are stuffed to the gills with Liefeld tonight.
No, we're not. Ayrton might be, but I'm not stuffed with any man ever as gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Stu, I'm short on cash.
Not that there's anything. Oh, nope, not yet. You might recognize that music. We've got a video here Sweet Cats. It's only about 8 minutes, so figure we could watch this and maybe comment on some of the stupidity that Clint has also pointed out. So let me know when you got that pulled up and you're ready.
Where? Oh, there it is.
Titled "Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld has unapproved opinions." Unapproved opinions.
All right, gotta wait for this ad. All right, I'm ready.
All right, you're gonna hit play in 3, 2, go.
Hey everyone, it's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. I want to talk about Rob Liefeld because he is a character. I don't know what else to call him. That's accurate. We're going to look at some stuff just because it's funny, but there's also this reminiscing of better times in comics. And it's not just Rob Liefeld. It's a lot of people. I hear it frequently. People miss the golden age of comics. Not like literally the golden age. Some people might. But what was the best time in comics? And Rob Liefeld, he clearly loves 90s comics, especially, that was his heyday, I would say. I've been more into comics from the 80s, though I gotta say, I told you I was going to be collecting the Daredevil run that Frank Miller did, and it's a lot of issues. So it's gonna take me a little while. I've got 3. I'm 3 in right now. One of these was made in the 70s, though. So 3 in. I gotta say, every time I read 80s comics, there's just something about it. I like it. I like 80s comics, generally speaking, better than 90s comics, but there's some good stuff from the 90s as well. So anyway, I'm
gonna pause at 1:11. I love Clint. I love him to death, but man, he has the attention span of a ferret on crystal meth sometimes. Man, Rob Liefeld, he loves 90s comics. I love 80s comics. I've been reading the Daredevil run by Frank Miller. Like, what the fuck? That is a great Daredevil run. I mean,
because we're ones to talk.
Oh, absolutely. But we don't make, videos. So, and don't get me wrong, that's not a critique. I love Clint. Clint, I love you. You're the best. And please don't strike this down because we're watching your video here. But no, I just first off, fair use. I want to stop and comment every minute or so, every few minutes. Secondly, I want to highlight this tweet, and he's going to read it in a minute, but you guys can see that on the. Yeah, I'm not sure he loves 80s comics either, Chad. I mean, it's up in the air. He definitely didn't spend the first minute of the video talking about that. But no, I want to highlight this tweet because it wasn't in the thread that we just brought up, but I believe it was part of that same little segue there, and I'm pretty sure this is targeted at ComicBookHut. Hey, you, yeah, I read your ridiculous tweet. The one where you act like you have a career even remotely resembling mine. You didn't. You won't. Keep dreaming. Like, oh my fucking God. How do you get dunked on by a guy who's just like a giant goober? Like, Rob Liefeld's not even an asshole. He's just so ridiculous that he's a goober.
That's probably the best description I've ever heard for him.
Like, that guy that just never quite left the frat room behind? That's Rob Liefeld. Image Comics was his frat party. But anyway, I love that.
He still wants to shotgun like 13 beers in a row before the football game even starts.
Yeah.
You're like, you're 47 years old. What are you doing?
Put your pants back on. This is a church.
Turn your hat frontward. Why are you wearing it sideways? What's wrong with you?
But anyway, let's get back into it. Maybe he'll tell us some more about Daredevil. 3, 2, 1, now.
Regardless, neither here nor there. Rob Liefeld had some funny things. Buckle in. This is always fun. All right, so Rob does this thing where he will talk to somebody that has been in his mentions saying something about him, but he's not responding to them. He's just sort of saying it out to the Twitter sphere.
That's
I gotta
called
wonder who
subtweeting,
he's
Clint.
talking about sometimes. Here's a great tweet from him. He says, "Hey, you, yeah, I read your ridiculous tweet, the one where you act like you have a career even remotely resembling mine. You didn't and you won't. Keep dreaming." I swear there's this level of comic artists maybe in particular, maybe comic artists, don't be mad at me, but it's almost like little man syndrome. You know what I mean? Like I'm a superstar and everyone should know I'm a superstar, but everybody outside of comics has no idea who you are. Even Rob Liefeld, not everybody. I mean, people do ask him about things. So that was just one. It's pretty funny. I gotta say, there's something to be said for confidence. I will definitely give Rob that. Here's another one. This was pretty great. But I gotta say, this is an opinion that would be not allowed. This would get you in trouble if basically, or literally, which is it? If anyone else said this besides Rob Liefeld, they'd be in trouble. But with Rob, it's just like, okay, it's Rob. So Rob Liefeld says, comic books today are not in a resurgence of creativity. Most are endless talk fest, just cackling heads. Bronze Age through 99 is a sweet spot. Do yourself a favor and check out Marvel, DC, Image Comics in those eras. Inspiring. So yeah.
All right, I'm paused at 246.
This is a really good Daredevil review.
Isn't it though?
So I just curious, since you're the resident amateur comics historian.
Okay.
The Bronze Age through 1999. That's basically Rob's heyday, right?
That is exactly what I was getting ready to bring up. Yeah. Image, Bronze Age, like 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, into the early 90s. And then the modern, or the Age of Heroes, some people call it, is, the 90s. There's still some Silver Age stuff coming around, late 70s or early 70s or whatever. It's kind of hard to carbon date, but there are certain events that happen that kind of mark the beginning of an age in comics. The appearance of Barry Allen marks the beginning of the Silver Age. So, but the whole point is Image Comics started in like 1992. And you see Eric Larson is the highlighted response here. Eric Larson is one of the founders of Image Comics as well. He's the guy responsible for Savage Dragon. That shit show of a book that literally keeps getting printed because Eric Larson keeps paying for it to be printed. No one buys that piece of shit book anymore. Like, nobody's bought Savage Dragon in like 5 years, yet it somehow still gets printed. But yeah, I was going to bring that up.
I'm sure his mom and grandma buy them.
Oh God, I hope not, because there's like literal child porn in some of them. Like they're depictions
Hello, FBI.
of, yeah, basically. Can you find out what Eric Larson is on right now? Like, he needs help. But
maybe him and Onision can share a jail cell.
And here's the thing. I don't shit on anybody for what they like and what they don't like if it's different from mine. Like, I might rag on you a little bit. Like, if I say, hey, do you read comics? And you're like, yeah. And I say, well, what do you read? What do you enjoy? And you come at me with like, oh, those Archie Digest books you get at the grocery store? I love those things. I might crack at you a little bit, make a joke or two, but I'm not maliciously.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you like something that I don't. I don't give a shit if you like something that I think is stupid. Like what you like. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's what makes us great. What I will say is that when your argument hinges on my books are the best and everyone else's suck.
Well, I mean, when you take 8 years to produce your book, you can fine tweak every little bit of it. So that's an
It
unfair
was
advantage there.
it was only 6, Ayrton. Calm down.
Well, I mean, he was writing. He was probably starting the writing and stuff beforehand.
But
I would assume.
no, when you literally like just knock everything that's going on today, like, I mean, if you don't think that Comicsgate and the rise of indie comics has given birth to a new form of creativity, like a lot of the people that we have on this show, they're creating their first comic. They might not have Ethan Van Sciver's level of artistic skill. They might not be able to write like Jonathan Hickman. They might not be able to, put together a franchise that just knocks it out of the park like Doug TenNapel. However, every one of these guys is making a book either A, because they really have a story that they want to tell and they want to put their everything into that story, or B, they're trying to grift. And it's pretty easy to tell the two apart once you just start looking for signs. People like Eric Weathers, Von Klaus, Clint, um, Gilbert Deltrez, these guys non-stop promote their work. They talk about their work like they love it. They treat every piece of it, every stretch goal, every customer interaction. They treat it like a business. They treat it like they're dealing with something that they love. Whereas you get somebody like a Dan Slott who's written 100 issues of Spider-Man, he doesn't really give a shit if he turns in a shitty script because he's on a time crunch. He doesn't, or he got writer's block or whatever. Well, you know what? I got it. I'll kill off Peter Parker and I'll put Dr. Octopus's consciousness in his body. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. That was the entire
Big
plot
brain
behind
ideas.
That was the entire plot behind Superior Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, big brain ideas.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the worst storyline I've ever read, but it wasn't the greatest either, to be honest. And it was literally like 3 issues worth of material that they stretched into like, what, I think a 25, 30 issue run?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did I? I might have tried reading some of it. I can't remember. I'd have to look.
But yeah, it drug on forever and ever and ever, and it almost made you feel like they were trying to rewrite Spider-Man's character to be the superior Spider-Man, and it just didn't take. I'm sure that was never the goal, but the fact that from the outside looking in, it felt like that. I mean, that was kind of a problem. Anyway, I forget where I was going, even though I was having so much of a laugh. But these guys, Eric Larson and Rob Liefeld, they come in and they say, well, 90s Image was the best ever. And I hate to say it, gentlemen, but the only Image comics that anyone remembers from those days is fucking Spawn. And neither one of you cocksuckers are Todd McFarlane.
But
I also like how
that was the heyday.
Well, I also like how Eric Larson isn't verified. He doesn't have a Twitter checkmark. EVS and Rob Liefeld and Jonathan Hickman and all these other great writers, Mark Waid and everybody else, they've all got check marks. Eric Larson's out here like, I wrote Savage Dragon, for God's sake. You wrote what?
Fucking Ethan Ralph has a check mark.
Well, he took a swing at a cop. I mean, it's pretty easy to get a check mark when you're that dedicated. He took the express lane to getting one. He didn't want to turn his ID over. He said, fuck that. I'm going to get drunk and pass out on a couch until the police come, and then it's on, boys. Yeah, he's not counting manga either. And to be fair, I wasn't either. I mean, manga's a great art form. American manga's kind of shit. The I Love Halloween book by Keith Giffen. That's pretty good, but a lot of the God, I can't even remember the name of the company, is shut down now. But a lot of the American animated or American manga that was coming out was just garbage. But anyway, let's see what else. Let's see what else Clint has to say about this. He's gonna finish going through this thread for us. 3, 2, 1.
He did include Bronze Age, so that's cool. I like Bronze Age comics. This Talk Fest stuff is definitely a thing, and I want that trend to move away. I don't know if it's because of television or what. I mean, it could be any number of things. This is my one problem. I want to love Ninja Turtles, and every time I get through reading some Ninja Turtle comics, most of the entire story, most of the whole trade is standing around talking. That is not what I want to see. I want to see action, fighting, ninja stuff, at least plotting, or sneaking in the darkness. But there's just a lot of talking. All right, here's a rando on Twitter responding, saying, nah, Image of Today is far better. Hickman on East of West and Black Monday murders. Brubaker doing his thing with Criminals and other titles. Rucka, Lark on Lazarus, etc. Plus, we have Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, Grant Morrison, and others doing great work in other companies. Now, you can't have an opinion on comics without Eric Larson weighing in. Here he is, Eric Larson, yet again. And he says, honestly, it's the difference between Annie Hall and Star Wars. Yes, Annie Hall won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1997, but there's no denying that viewers flocked to see Star Wars. Present day Image is Annie Hall. 1992 Image was Star Wars. Great response here. I got to read this. Again, Chuck Black, rando on Twitter. Best. That's very generous to yourself and others. LMAO. You guys were more like Michael Bay movies. Just keeps getting funnier. Eric Larson is responding. Fans were excited to be reading Image Comics in 1992, and they were really enthusiastic. And while I would not argue that all those stories were well crafted on the technical level, there was a raw energy in the books, which was both exciting and infectious. And here's Rob Liefeld responding again to Eric Larson. And Rob Liefeld says, I would advise against diminishing the works of this era, as I have heard and seen up close and personal how near and dear these comics, stories, art, and characters are to the fans of that age. They hold these books in the highest regard. They thrilled them to the core.
They thrilled them, Ayrton. And paused it at 4:59. They thrilled them.
So, and does Eric Larson not proofread his tweets before he presses post?
I don't think Eric Larson even looks at his phone when he tweets.
Because the guy literally compared them to Michael Bay movies, and he's like, well, they might not have been technical or artistically savvy, but they had energy. Like Michael Bay movies?
No, and here's the thing, there's a short clip of Liefeld's antics. I think he might have put a Twitter video out, or maybe it was on his crowdfund. I don't really know. But there's another part in this that we're going to get to in a minute. But again, to just pat yourself on the ass that hard in public, it's embarrassing. Especially when
rough.
Well, if the only project you could even talk about being on in the last 6 years, which I know he's been on other stuff, or he's probably been commissioned to do a cover here and there and all kinds of shit. But if the only thing that you can actually talk about is 6 years late, and you fucked your backers by releasing it at a comic convention for people who didn't even back the fucking thing before you shipped it out, maybe be careful throwing goddamn stones at people. Because this is how you get aired out on Twitter by ComicBookHut.
Which, you should feel bad about that.
Yeah. Literally any day of the week, I wake up and there are 8 people in my mentions arguing with me about something regarding Comicsgate or Kickvick or some shit like that. And they've all taken 8 to 10 hours to try and think up of a response. I know none of them have gotten any fucking sleep. because they're just sitting there just erasing everything they type, going, no, 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 I don't want to sound stupid again. I can't help it. But even I don't get aired out by somebody like ComicBookHut. Like, you just have to think about the words that are coming out of your fucking mouth. And maybe put them into context with the actions you've taken over the last, I don't know, 6 fucking years. I'm sorry. Is that too harsh? Should I go easier on Rob?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. But yeah, it's embarrassing. Like if you can literally let ComicBookHut dunk on you, and then you have to subtweet him. Maybe it's because you do stupid shit like go on Twitter and say, my era of comics was best era, all other eras are inferior.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He's going to face the wrath of the people champion, Ayrton. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to die laughing at these idiots. All those years of smoking are going to catch up to both of us, and we're going to kill over on this fucking program laughing at these two fucking morons. Anyway, let's see if we can make it through the rest of this video. I think we've only got about 2 minutes of actual video left, so we'll go ahead and hit play at 4:59 right now.
And I think he's talking about 1992 Image, which Eric Larson was. Anyway, whatever. I just think it's funny how Rob Liefeld will say bad things about current year comics, and if anybody even that was even involved in Eric Larson, involved in Image Comics, he reminds him not to denigrate those stories, even in the most mild of ways. Just cracks me up. All right, here's another opinion by Rob Liefeld. Here we go.
Oh, and by the way, man, if you're reading today's X-Men comics and you're like even a little excited by them, like these are way better. The stuff like Byrne, Claremont, Austin, top of all time. Okay, way better. There's action. Things happen. There's consequences. People aren't talking about other people. Blah, blah, blah.
I feel like Rob Liefeld needs a YouTube channel. Whatever you think about him, I think he needs a YouTube channel. Does he have one?
Yes.
I should look that up. I mean, I don't see one, but he should. I would watch him just talk to himself in conversation, just go off in conversation on himself. I don't know for how long, but it would be kind of entertaining. I'm not a huge Rob Liefeld fan, but I have to say he's an incredibly interesting person. And I think part of that is that he is unapologetic with his opinions. He has nuanced opinions. He's not like parroting some kind of like sanctioned advice or sanctioned opinions that the comic industry wants him to have. He's just a guy talking about comics. He's pretty happy with his success in his career, obviously. And I'll be honest, what I want to see a little bit more of is more comic creators being able to sort of vary and have some opinions without getting kind of stomped and pushed back in line. I remember Brett Booth was one of those people that talked about, I did a video on him. It was, a few months ago, and he talked about boys in comics and some of his opinions. And it was just so interesting to see so many people trying to corral him away from having that opinion. Rob Liefeld's opinions here would, on the comics used to be better. That's not something that the current comic industry wants to hear or that they like to hear, but he still says it anyway. So, hats off for that. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Downcast 2 is coming. Guys,
All right. He talks about Downcast 2. Definitely check that out. Downcast 1 is already shipping. I think you can actually pick up Downcast as part of that campaign, possibly. If he has extras, I'm not sure. But the first thing I need to do, I need to go back to 5 minutes and 21 seconds. 5:22. Okay, first off, look at this face that Clint has. He knows what he's about to show us. Look at that fucking grin on his face. That's the motherfucker whose hand got caught in the cookie jar, and he is not apologetic about it in the least. He knows he's about to show us. I'm gonna mute the video this time, so just stay on the line with me. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it muted from 522
Okay.
here, and we're just gonna watch Rob Liefeld spurg out with no context. Comic book. I have comic book. Look at this. This is great. Comic book. You don't believe me? We'll fight. Comic book must be this tall. Hiya! I am sign languaging my monkey. I agree with Clint wholeheartedly. This motherfucker needs a YouTube channel so that I don't ever have to work for content on this show again. He can put up one 30-minute video a week, and I'm pretty sure I could find a way to laugh at that for 8 solid hours.
Oh, probably. Welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. We're on
Day 76 of laughing at Rob Liefeld. I'd like to welcome the new 1,000 subscribers that we have. All Liefeld all the time. Oh man, but yeah, that I saw that.
I was able to find that. I was able to find that tweet from Eric Larson and commented. You mean like Michael Bay movies?
I don't even have to ask you to do these things. I only have to get my inside man to do it. Like, I've told him to refrain from tweeting anything at anyone, lest they start blocking him too.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't believe I'm not blocked by Rob Liefeld.
Give it time.
Even after I tweeted out that picture of how to draw feet to him. I was like, for sure, I'm gonna get blocked for this one. And motherfucker's resilient.
Oh yeah. Now, I wish that
I'll give him that.
I wish that I could tell you.
Anyways,
that was the only news we had from someone who had been brought up on this show before. But it isn't. It isn't, Ayrton. There's more.
Uh-oh.
Not Rob Liefeld. We're done with him. We're gonna give Rob a break. He's contributed enough to this show. Now I do.
Has he though?
Well, I do have one article here. Matt Reeves seemingly confirms Colin Farrell will join the Batman cast as Penguin. I just can't picture Colin Farrell as a Penguin. What about you?
Colin Farrell? Who's he again?
He's like a discount Carl Urban. No, he's not. Here, it's in the show suggestion. Look at the third link up from Chad Middleton.
Oh, okay.
So let me get that pulled up. Sorry, I know this is fucking exciting as hell. I thought it was an actual article, but it's just it's a Twitter rundown. No, we're not gonna log in here.
Oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
It appears reports which surfaced last year that Fantastic Beasts star Colin Farrell will be playing Penguin in Reeves' upcoming Batman film, and has been confirmed by the director that Batman will star Robert Pattinson as Gotham's hero and is set for release in 2021. So, I don't know. Like, they did turn a very, very skinny Hispanic man into a clown in the Spawn movie very well with makeup. So,
Maybe
the makeup and the
kind of too
prosthetic.
tall though, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. Isn't he short? Isn't Colin Farrell kind of short?
Is he?
Actually, I don't know.
No.
I know comic books, not fucking movie stars. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. The one picture that popped up, I don't know. He doesn't look very short.
The one picture that popped up to him is from the shoulders up.
No, well, the picture that popped up on my screen when I was pulling up the tweet.
Mm.
It was like, I don't know, it was like a movie poster
Oh no.
image or some shit.
Yeah, because Hollywood never does anything dramatic with their lighting or anything. But that's interesting. I've always liked him as an actor, so I mean that might not be the worst thing in the world. Like I said,
He can sure ham shit up. I'll give him that.
Well, I even promised my wife that I would give Robert Pattinson a chance as the Batman, because if you would have told me that the guy who was literally a stick figure from Shooting the Machinist would become a bulking Bruce Wayne, I would have told you you're an idiot. And then he did it.
Yeah.
So, there've been some interesting little tidbits on how Ricky Gervais pointed them out, but on how that's accomplished. And Robert Pattinson had said that it's difficult to maintain the level of weight needed to be Batman. But I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It can't be worse than Martha. I mean, here I am not listening to my own advice that I gave Chad Middleton earlier. Hey, be careful. Because then Martha will just be sparkly and I'll have to eat my own fucking words. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's the worst thing that could happen. So.
No. And I mean, like I said, he can chew up the scenery, I think, good enough to play a villain as batshit crazy as the Penguin.
Wasn't he Bullseye in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck?
Yeah. And he was like the best part of that movie. He was so much fun because he was just so insane.
Well, the scar thing on his head was a little fucking weird, but
it was. But I mean, he really like hammed it up though with Bullseye, and that's if he were to do a similar performance like that, I would enjoy it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's not the news that I was talking about. The news that I was talking about is you remember a very large comic book account on YouTube. We've talked about them before. ComicsExplained.
Oh yeah.
You know how I was talking earlier about maybe, just maybe, you take a minute before you actually say the thing that you're thinking. Just think it through and make sure that it actually sounds right coming out of your head and onto paper or whatever. I don't think Rob from Comics
I
Explained
vaguely remember something like that.
I don't think Rob from Comic maybe has a problem with Robs in general. Maybe no Robert out there can actually form a cohesive in their head and then transcribe it to a medium of any sort. But Rob from Comic Explains here. He's
something just happened with your voice. You got a little echoey.
Did I? Oh.
Yeah.
Did that fix it?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Mic came unplugged.
Ah.
Yeah, pulled on my headset. Anyway, Benovator on Twitter, a fantastic follow, by the way. He's basically Batman in real life. No, Rob's a loud party.
Did you know?
We
Sorry,
could have one.
I don't know if this guy is still around, but you know like those crazy people that will put on like superhero costumes and actually like go try and stop crime and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you heard of these people?
Yeah.
Well, there's several in Michigan, and one of them is a fat Batman.
Have you ever met one?
I will try and pull this up. I have not, but I know where to find one. If you want me to try and get an interview with one of them, I know where one of them hangs out.
I need this. What are you talking about? You know, a real life superhero, and I want him on this fucking program. I want him on this show right now. Go get
At
him.
least, well, it's about a 2-hour drive.
We'll do a 5-hour stream
if
then.
he's still
Get the
doing
fucking
stuff,
car.
I'll let me do some looking. I'll see if he's still doing shit, and I will see if I can track him down to get him on the show. I
Matt,
will add it to the list.
Matt Christie says that isn't Colin already Deadeye or Bullseye or something like that? He is, and this is kind of where it gets a little fucky with comic books. But DC and Marvel being separate entities, it doesn't matter. And that version of Daredevil is also no longer canon in the MCU. So get the interview of the whole League of Justice. Yes, make it happen, Ayrton. I will never fire you again. You will have a I lie. That's a lie. I'll probably fire you during that show.
I was gonna say.
Just want my Goose Wayne back. Yeah. But no, Daredevil and Bullseye are Marvel characters, and that doesn't really matter to DC because Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern and Deadpool. So,
Well, I found I found an article about the Petoskey Batman is what he's dubbed, and apparently he has a Facebook page.
put it in. We're gonna hold on that because we'll be here all night. But we will talk about that off air, and if it's at all humanly possible, we got to see if we can get him on the show.
I don't know if I can get him, but Captain Jackson is the other guy.
Okay.
And so if he's still doing stuff, I think I might be able to track him down.
And the thing is, like, I'm not even wanting to make fun of these guys. I just want to pick their brain a little bit. Like, I don't even want to laugh at them because they're literally going out there risking being shot.
He has retired.
Well,
Captain Jackson has retired. Yeah. I'll do some digging.
Ayrton is secretly a member promoting. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder too if the Atomic Batman has a Robin with a scraggly beard and a cigar habit, and the boy shorts. Like he has to wear the original Robin suit with no pants.
Oh, of course. I mean, how else are you going to do it?
How else are you going to make rent like you were talking about earlier?
Exactly.
Well, anyway, Benevator puts out on Twitter, just an opinion. Tom King fundamentally does not understand Batman, in response to ComicsExplained saying, so I finally caught up and finished Tom King's Batman. I enjoyed it. The ending seems to fall flat a bit, but I liked it. So did it fall flat, or did you like it? Like, those two really don't seem to add up. Like, it seems like if it fell flat that you were okay with it, but maybe you didn't like it. That's one. Can I gripe about this fucker for a minute? Like, I've never had any personal interaction with this guy, but the more of his shit that I listened to, the more and more I couldn't stand him. Everything he read, he enjoyed. Every single fucking book he reads, he loves it. Oh, it was amazing. Really? Have a fucking opinion. Have a fucking critique. Call out bad artwork. You review shitty comics all the time, and it's fine if you like them, but if you like them all, like literally, I can't watch his videos anymore. I just can't.
I can't say I've watched any of his stuff like in a long time now.
I used to enjoy when he would compile a full breakdown of an entire storyline or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's fallen into this pattern of every book he reads. It's amazing. It's the best. Oh my god. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? They can't all be that good. They're not. Like, you're literally just going through every book and just highlighting the parts that you thought were cool and calling it amazing. Like there's nothing insightful there. You don't even really have an opinion. Oh, everything's great. Everything's fantastic. All right. Well, I don't need to watch your channel anymore then.
Yeah, we know your opinion.
Right. Oh, well, looks like Rob read Silver Surfer this week. I bet it was amazing.
I glanced at that new Silver Surfer Black and was like, no.
They've been doing some interesting shit with the Silver Surfers in 2015. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. The art just threw me. I was like, I don't think I could sit down and look at this.
That's fair. It's kind of psychedelic. If the art's the same thing that I'm thinking of, it's kind of psychedelic in the sense that, oh well, it might be a little weird, but
well, I mean, I'm fine with that. I like Jack Kirby, but I don't know, it wasn't as refined as like some older Silver Surfer stuff. But anyways, that's getting off on another tangent.
Well, anyway, Tom King fundamentally does not understand Batman, was Benevader's response to that. So, ComicsExplained comes in and he says, I thought Batman was a fictional character that was a reflection of whatever writers wanted him to be. Hence, the reason he hasn't been the same in the last 80 years. First off, wrong. Batman was basically the same for 60 of those 80 years, you dumb bastard. Secondly, the first major change Batman went through turned him into the Batman that everybody knew from the movies, and Adam West. The second major change to Batman, the most recent one, is the Frank Miller version of Batman that was a little more rugged, kind of went back to the original story to a little bit. But for the most part, there are very few things about Batman that you can actually change. You can't write Batman with two happy, healthy parents. Because Batman as a character has dead parents. You can't write Batman as a
emotionally well-adjusted.
I was about to say, you can't write Batman as a well-adjusted human being. Because that ain't it. Sure, every writer can, put their own little spin on it. They can tell different stories, like the last Night on Earth or whatever. Batman White Knight. There are all kind of different stories you can tell. But at the end of the day, what the fuck is that?
Oh, that was not what I was hoping. I was trying to find Donald Trump saying wrong, and it was supposed to be him just saying it over and over.
Oh,
that is not what the...
Yeah, that's a Senate hearing.
All
right. I remember that Senate hearing. Or debate or whatever it was. He's just telling some dim, shut the fuck up, wrong.
I was hoping it was just the wrong part clipped out over and over again, judging by the title, fuckers.
But yeah, definitely Batman is a fictional character. So sorry, I have to keep muting because I keep yawning. I thought Batman was a fictional character. Well, you got that right. Batman is a fictional character. Batman is not real, Rob. You do have that down pat. But he can't just be a reflection of whatever the writers want him to be, or else there's no point in them writing Batman. Okay? Write another character and put him in a fucking cape and a cowl. Write Zorro.
Right.
Write the Shadow.
You can't just take a character and we've harped on this 1,000 times at this point. You can't use a character name to write whatever the fuck you feel like.
I mean,
if you have an established character, you have to. There's some rules with how that character works.
Right.
You can't just make Batman fly.
I mean, not in the general sense, unless it's like an Elseworld or something. And then you have that opportunity.
Yeah.
But on an 85 issue run of the mainstream Batman title, that you got to start with the number fucking 1, you definitely don't make Batman a fucking simp.
Right.
Okay? You don't kill Alfred. Okay? There's just certain things that you really just don't need to do.
Just doesn't need to exist, really.
No.
It's probably the biggest one.
Catwoman leaving Batman at the altar. Okay? Then what? Bane. Okay? Why is Batman a whiny little bitch, Tom King? That's just how I write it. Yeah, because you self-inserted Batman. You just turned yourself into Batman, and you're a fucking simp. And I've got a clip that we can bring up. Not a clip, but I've got a video that we can play the first few minutes of as we close out the show. But we're not going to watch the whole thing. It takes like 20 minutes.
Oh.
Rob then replies, or Benovator, Batman replies, that's not the best approach to any character, in my opinion. Every character needs to have a solid core. Yeah. And foundation for each writer to build upon. When writers stray 180 degrees, that's when problems arise, like King on Batman and Bendis' Superman. Comics Explained comes back in. What did Tom King do that shows he doesn't understand the character? And this is the actual funny.
He wrote these books.
Yeah. This is the funny. He made Batman totally incompetent and have Catwoman always one-up him in all of his battles. He killed off his number 1 supporting character that not only is like a father to him, but the man who can keep him from going over the edge. Little to no detective aspect, more focused on Catwoman than his one-man war on crime. And that's a brilliant fucking take. I back that 100%. Now, what do you notice absent from this response? You notice how Comics Explained just kind of sulked off and just dropped the argument because he knew he had lost it?
I was gonna say the lack of a response.
Yeah. I guess he just expects his follower and subscriber count to just intimidate people. But you don't intimidate Batman when it comes to talking Batman.
Right.
So, like I said, I've got a video on that topic a little bit earlier. But yet again, a channel with, I think, over 1 million subscribers has another shitty take on basically the thing he earns his living from, comic books. And then doesn't even have the sack to even stand his ground or admit that he might have been wrong or, respect someone else's opinion. That's what really pisses me off about shit like that. When these motherfuckers come on and they challenge you, and when you actually answer them in anything coherent, then
they run away.
Mm-hmm. But now, do we want to watch the Batman video first and keep the flow of that going and just close out the show with Renfamous, or do we want to do Renfamous now and close out the show with more Batman?
I kind of feel like we should keep the flow going into the Batman.
All right. Well, no, don't.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited.
No.
John Haynes, A Conversation with Death.
No,
The man who rules
shut
the world and the
up.
angel of darkness take on a horror.
Don't start yet. No, I wasn't ready. Please. Anyway, this next guy I'm going to bring
Highest
up.
level of professionalism, folks.
Absolutely. Better fucking know it. Alright, so there you go. Let me drop this in show suggestions for you.
Okay.
There you go. There's that.
All right. And an ad. All right, hold on a sec.
Of course it is.
What? Why are there 2 ads? What the fuck is that?
Well, when you get to it, just skip to 13 seconds.
Okay. Oh, come on.
Just remember to turn on that pesky ad block.
God, I hate the YouTube apps so much sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You whore.
Really? Still?
What?
Are you still getting ads?
No, it's just not letting me. There we go.
You ready? 13.
Okay, I'm ready. Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Conversation with Death for 99 cents on Kindle or in paperback today. After reading Batman issue 50 and Batman issue 51, I have some advice for Tom King from my 20 years of being a professional writer. Stop writing Batman like a simp, because the way you are writing Batman is completely out of character for Bruce Wayne and Batman as he's been portrayed in his over 80-year history as a character and as a man. And the reason why the way Tom King has been writing Batman out of character is because he grew up in a single mother household. And because he grew up in a single mother household, he is projecting his issues on to Batman, and that shows in many of the low energy stories he has been writing featuring Batman, where he's focused on this wedding, and then
like
he
you're trying
gives
to
us
stop
this
from
ending
laughing.
where
can't
you
help it.
have Selina Kyle walking away from Bruce Wayne, and then you have Bruce Wayne acting emotional in that 51st issue. Now, it was that 51st issue and that 50th issue that really made me look at his run and say that you're really starting to write this character out of character, because it's clear to me that your Tom King really has not done any research on family dynamics or family relationships as it relates to the Batman family or even the human family. Now, the reason why you're
Paused at 152. I love this fucking guy.
This guy's great.
Oh,
Who is this guy? Sean James.
Yeah, Sean James.
I'm giving him a sub. This is great.
I've been sub to him ever since Benovator, linked me to this topic here. I love this fucking guy. I want to get him and Drexel on a show together. No Nick Rekieta. No nothing. Just 2 based ass black dudes. Just talking about motherfuckers being simps and needing to have fathers. Oh.
And Jesse Lee Peterson. Might as well get him on there too.
So what you're saying is he's a better.
Wait, are you saying they can see me, but I can't see you? That's amazing.
Oh God. Anyway, we'll play another couple minutes of this. This guy's fucking hilarious. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Batman and your Bruce Wayne would not be all emotional over a breakup with a Selina Kyle who walked away from him at the altar is this. Your Bruce Wayne grew up in a home with 2 parents. And in that home, he grew up with his father, Dr. Thomas Wayne. And in the 8 years of his life that he was living with Dr. Thomas Wayne, he learned his lessons in manhood from Dr. Thomas Wayne. And it was those core values that Bruce learned from Dr. Thomas Wayne that shaped the man he would grow up to become. Because it was those core values that are the foundation for his mission as Batman and the main reason why he took that vow to go out here and protect Gotham City from all these criminals as Batman. That is the core foundation of who Bruce Wayne is it comes from his father, Dr. Thomas Wayne. Now, his values are reinforced during his adolescence by Alfred the butler. Now, Alfred's wisdom taught Bruce patience and understanding, and it taught him compassion for people, because it was his compassion by staying there with Bruce after his parents died that showed him a bigger picture for his life, and showed him that people aren't just black and white, that there are gray areas. So that really shaped who Bruce Wayne was growing up. And in addition to Alfred and Dr. Thomas Wayne, he had relationships with numerous men he worked with who trained him to become Batman, like the Sensei. And I believe it was the Sensei who also had a major impact on Bruce Wayne in teaching him discipline and self-control. Because in order to be one of the world's greatest martial artists,
pause it at 3:45. I think that gives you the gist of what we've been talking about. But
over in the recommended, I put a video in my watch later thing from your boy Zach. Said, read Heroes in Crisis #1 if you ever dreamed of being Tom King's unlicensed therapist.
Well, now we've been through Tom King daddy issues. We've been through Rob Liefeld and ComicBookHut, flailing at one another over Twitter. I mean, I can't take shots. That's pretty much what I do most of the time, is just light people up on Twitter. But
Yeah.
I don't make a spectacle of it. I don't subtweet people, and I definitely don't lose about the Comic Book Hut. I definitely don't let him get away with calling himself the people's champ in my presence, okay?
So, is Comic Book Hut like the alpha cuck now?
I think when he looks in the mirror, even though it looks like Peter Griffin, he sees the Rock.
He has a funhouse mirror.
But you know what we haven't talked about that's on the marquee?
The Vag of Holding.
The Badge of Holding. That's a podcast that Renfamous is on.
How big is your vagina if you can just casually hold stuff in it?
I mean, apparently big enough for a raccoon. I don't know. But this is Panboy Lando.
And what's with this weird
Go ahead.
What's with this weird S&M
Scooby Doo thing?
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Oh God, if I know. You forget, Ayrton. I'm a rational human being. Rational building.
I'm scared.
Sorry. Oh. But this this story comes to us from Panboy Lando Soy Child Dong Lover War Campaign. He's a great guy. LOL stumbled across a recent podcast where Renfamous admits to currently renting a dump with raccoons living in the walls. I assume they are after her cat food dinner. So her podcast has less downloads than we have live viewers. I guess, that's way to go.
We're gonna get a strike. We're gonna officially get a strike that we're talking about her.
She has me blocked on Twitter. How the fuck is she gonna find out? They'll have to stay here for almost an hour and a half, Ayrton. You don't understand. All right, I'm going to cue this up.
People who Google alerts.
All right, let me know when you've got this queued up and ready to play. It's only a minute and 13
ready,
seconds.
But I'm not happy about it.
Only a minute and 13 seconds. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
People who want to get drunk, but not that drunk. Yep, that's exactly
We're getting
right.
white girl wasted.
So-
White girl wasted.
White girl wasted, exactly. No laws with white claws, bitches. Oh my god. So Ren, is the raccoon still in your wall? And how did a raccoon wind up in your wall?
Oh, I live in a rental property that's poorly maintained. It was built in the early 50s, so raccoons get in all kinds of places in here. We've got a kind of a tenuous mutual agreement to just they do their
Raccoons
thing in the
getting
walls.
all
We do
kinds
our
of
thing on this side.
places.
We're gonna pause it at 36 seconds, and I'm gonna tell each and every one of you motherfuckers, I don't want to hear shit about my accent ever again. This bitch was literally born underneath the trailer park. Jesus Christ.
That's fair.
All right, so 36 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Side of the walls.
You know, Ian has an interesting little factoid he learned about raccoons.
Do I?
Don't you remember the whole thing about where they could fit? And that joke that you made?
Oh, yeah, but now.
Oh boy, I know where this is going already.
Yeah, it was something like.
It was that raccoons could.
We might be able to get a duet with the raccoon and Perseal.
No, it was raccoons could fit into like a 2-inch space or something like that.
Space.
So you said you were going to rename your ass a raccoon carrying handle or carrying bag or
storage
something.
Device.
Raccoon storage unit. I don't know. We slaughtered our own joke.
Wow.
They were
That's
making
some high level comedy right there.
They were making jokes about who was going to put the raccoon in whose ass. Do you hear how nonchalantly this bitch is talking about having raccoons in her fucking walls? Yeah, we live in an old rental property, and it's not very well maintained, and I can't call an exterminator to come get the raccoon out of my walls, so we'll just let it live there, and you know, it's fine. Fuck.
Jesus. And that laugh.
Yeah, like, and she's fine with it. She thinks it's funny.
What is wrong with her? And I'm not blocked by her.
She unblocked a lot of people, not me, but she didn't have my inside man blocked. So.
Oh, and Heather Antos.
Oh, you got Heather Antos too?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send my guy a tweet to follow her. That's animal abuse. Also, wait a minute. Hold on. We just completely glossed over something, and I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm thinking about it in terms of, you know, rationality here. But if a raccoon can spit in a 2-inch space, why does your asshole have a 2-inch diameter? What have you been doing? Second thought, no, I don't want to know.
Well, no, they corrected themselves. It's a 6-inch space.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Like, what kind of preparation do you have to be a raccoon carrier?
Lots of Astroglide?
Probably. Jesus Christ.
And a boyfriend named Bubba?
But
who just got out of prison?
I wanted to bring that to the people. We missed the Monday show, so I wanted to bring the A game to this show. And yeah, I think I've done that.
I think we need to do a whole segment of muting Rob Liefeld videos and doing our own dialogue over top of them.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he kind of looked like a fucking caveman trying to use sign language, didn't he?
Well, did you ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah. Yeah, when Drew Carey was on it.
You know, so there was the game they used to play where they would have an old movie or TV show clip with the sound off, and they would have to sit there and make up the dialogue for the scene.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's basically what that felt like.
Yeah. I mean, I know I was a little out of practice.
Eric Larson just...
He's so...
He just replied to my "You mean like Michael Bay movies?"
Oh, he replied?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He said, if I meant that, I would have said that.
Nothing gets over your head, Rob. You were too quick. You would catch it. You obtuse motherfucker.
Oh, that is... So now I need to look up Drax gifts for a response. Perfect.
You're welcome.
There we go.
I'm glad I could help you out on that. That'll be $50. Just send it over the PayPal. I'll give my razor sharp wit away for free. Goddammit. But yeah. So just to recap, what have we learned tonight? Rob
Absolutely not a damn thing.
Well, I've learned a lot, actually. Well, I learned it over the last few days, but I've learned a lot from this program. Mainly, Rob Liefeld is a fucking alien. There's no way he can be a human being. Apparently, when you become a dissenter of me in the show, you are destined to fight the other dissenters of me in the show. ComicsExplained is a fucking idiot with no real opinion whatsoever. And Renfamous has gone from collecting cats to collecting raccoons.
You know, it's a... I could see the shift there. It makes sense.
Yeah, well,
they're both vermin.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess she just wasn't getting enough rabies from the cats.
That's fair.
You know, maybe.
You know, it's taking bug chasing to kind of an extreme there, Renfamous.
Well, you know, she's got to be rabid so she can get those Twitter bants out. She's got to dunk on the incels, Ayrton. You leave her and her raccoon alone. Jesus fucking Christ! Like, why would
man,
you?
I love the Babylon Bee. Sorry, this just popped up. Man driving alone in carpool lane informs the officer his preferred pronoun is they. I so want to try that now.
As long as you make it to the show, I'm not bailing you out either. But anyway, no. And again, I want to preface this. I don't hate any of these people. I mean, I dislike some of them.
They're just.
But I really enjoy
goobers.
Yeah, don't be a goober, kids. Or else one day when I don't have time to read something, I will be making fun of you. Me, the people's champ. Oh, God. But yeah, that's I think that about wraps it up. I don't have anything else. I couldn't top that if I wanted to. Like I saw that tweet by Panboy today, and you know, I looked at the screenshot of the video and saw that their podcast had 4 downloads, and I was just like, wow. But here's the thing. Here's what I want to know. I want to find this, and for the people, I want to suffer through the earlier episodes to find out exactly how long they've been dealing with this raccoon problem. Because if she'll come on the internet and say some shit like that, what else has she said on this fucking podcast that nobody listens to?
That's true.
Like, they're talking about putting raccoons up their ass, having them live in their walls. Like, have we discovered some kind of weird fucking drunk raccoon orgy sex cult? I don't know.
I hope not.
I don't know, man. That would be epic. That would be a hell of a find. I would laugh about it for weeks. I might even be able to convince Jim to make a video on it. Like if the
All right, guys, here we go. Wish us luck if we don't make it back.
Oh yeah, I'd get through like 1 hour of listening to those idiots randomly talk about stupid shit and think that they're funny, and I would put a gun in my mouth in Minecraft.
I mean,
I would have to
we
go
could just
play.
play it at like double speed, right?
Even then, you know, I heard you can make a portal gun in Minecraft now, and I would just make an infinite hole and just fall through it forever.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
As long as you have an internet connection so we can still do the show.
Nobody's a fucking chick who has raccoon in her walls. Novel bro, I wish I could agree with you, man.
No,
I really do. Nobody
No, see, it's not
with
the
any
raccoon.
with any
It's not the
self-respect
raccoon.
is, but have you seen her orbiters?
It's not the raccoon in her wall. It's her horrid personality. It's the reason.
But anyway, yeah, I think that about wraps up the show. Unless you have anything else you want to bring up or whatever. Like I said, I just don't think I can take. I don't think I can top this. Like I feel like that I.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
I feel like I've peaked.
But hopefully the next day or two, come the Saturday show, maybe there will be some fun developments with Eric Larson and myself here.
Just screenshot everything because that's a problem with these guys. You start
That's
talking
a good
about
idea.
You start talking about their comic books and they lose their fucking mind. Oh man.
All right.
But anyway,
first screenshot. Fucking hell.
Oh, are you
How
already
do I
blocked?
fuck up taking a screenshot that bad?
Oh, okay.
No, I just.
Good. Well, I mean, your name is fairly apt for this. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out to the show, and I also want to take this opportunity to thank our patrons on Patreon. We definitely appreciate you guys. Internet has been much better as of late. Audio is doing much better. I'm able to actually pick up some of these books on Comixology. I've backed a couple of crowdfunding campaigns that we're going to review live on the show. Yeah, but big shout out to Matt Mechanical, SJW Spidey, Arcanus, Captain Weeb, Daniel G, Danielle G, and Captain Shithead. Thanks to everybody who supports us on there. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description down below. And with that, there are plenty of other ways to support the show. Obviously, share the links out, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on
Smash
YouTube
that
if you're
like
not
button.
already. All that good shit, and we definitely appreciate it. So I hope you all have a great night, and we will see you Saturday, where we will be interviewing that Rob though, and talking about his comics. So until then, everybody have a wonderful day.
Good night, everybody.
Wonderful week, and I will see most of you in the Discord later. Try again.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.